Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past. Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past.
Tonight's programming brought to you in part by the Department of Modern Science and Techno-Archaeology. Other parts brought to you from the future. Find out more at www.sherpaofscience.com.
102.1.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome aboard to the good ship Sherpa Cast 102.1. Smiles, everyone, smiles. It's good to have you here. I am grateful for your perception. I am now and always shall be your host, Dr. Denver Risley. And here at the Department of Modern Science and Techno-Archaeology, it is my job to scour the wastescape of the internet, looking for discarded bits of technology to turn into sonic waveforms compatible with your continuum. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Let's get this show on the road.
100.1.
Plexitone audiographic components. Ensure your audiographs are of the highest quality possible. Ask your preferred supplier for Plexitone components. Plexitone audiographic components are sold wherever Plexitone products are found. You want quality audiographs. You want Plexitone.
If there's no future in the past, should you forget this tomorrow? Is there something really important that you're just not thinking about right now? When can you continue to change if you're about to decide that isn't now a good time? What would happen if you didn't? If you find these are the answers to the source of your confusion, go to www.sherpaofscience.com, where you can overcome the problem to your solution.
That was Dr. J asking some of those questions we often ask while integrating late-night substances. Before that, we heard Quasars by Sven Liebeck. Can you guess what album that was on? That's right, the one that we've been pilfering for the last few episodes. It is Barry Seven's Connectors. I invite you to give it a listen. It's a wonderful collection of songs you're just not going to hear anywhere else. So you heard it here first, more than likely. Sherpa Cast 10.1. Probably a lot of things you're going to hear for the first time on this station. So keep your strange wave radios locked in. Set that dial and break it off. It's the only one you're ever going to need.
Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past. Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past. Cyberdyne Systems, the leader in artificial intelligence defense technology, bringing the future to the present.
The Vital Orbit Human Force Field, brought to you by the Jejun Institute.
Utilizing your body's own hydrodynamic activities, a powerful spherical field can be projected, which will act as a deflector of all material bodies and organic compounds. Unintended matter undergoes total magnetic reversal. This is possible through the widely unknown quantum principle of negativism. Your own personal field will naturally prevent conflict among human brothers and sisters, instinctually promoting peace. Think of this force field as being the ambassador of your body, imposing diplomacy and order in a sometimes chaotic world. This astonishing technology was made possible through the generous support of the Jejun Institute.
For more information, please call 415-449-7900 or visit us at our website www.jejuninstitute.org.
Let me take this moment to thank some of our sponsors. You just heard one, the Jejun Institute, our sister department, currently operating in a separate continuum from this one. So although the phone numbers are good in that continuum, they don't seem to work in this one. But keep trying, you might get through, you never know. I'd also like to thank our other sponsors, Cyberdyne Systems, bringing the future into the present, bringing the past into the present, because the present is present everywhere, all the time, because time is now. Oh, yes, of course. One of our favorite sponsors, Somnilax, the sleep-activated laxative. Now with Benadryl, so you get to sleep faster. That laxative gets activated faster. You get the rest you need, the release you deserve. Before I play this next song, I'd like to take a moment to explain what was going on during the construction of this song. You see, in those days, I was just discovering the awesome power of analog sound synthesis. And I don't just mean playing it or listening to it. I was building analog synthesizers from the ground up, as a lot of people were at that time, rediscovering the old technology. What was old became new again. In conjunction with the synthesizers that I was creating, I also used synthesizers that were already existing. I used Buddha chant boxes. I used that little phone tap you get from Radio Shack, which has also passed into another continuum. But it was like this little contraption that plugged into your headphone jack, and the other end was a suction cup. Well, it contains a little coil that picks up electromagnetic signals. And it doesn't have to be attached to a phone. You could wave it over your laptop or your cell phone and pick up strange electromagnetic signals from the etherverse. Those were all incorporated into this next song. It's a long one, so I'm not going to play it in its entirety, but it is called Dream Quest. I hope you enjoy it. Somnilax, the sleep-activated laxative for soft, warm release.
Tonight's programming brought to you in part by the Department of Modern Science and Technoarchaeology. Other parts brought to you from the future. Find out more at www.sherpaofscience.com. Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past. Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past.
All right, that last song was Dawn Mists by Stringtronics, and that came out of our favorite sonic mineshaft, Barry Seven's Connectors. We're going to dig up some other material for you to listen to. so we can sort of cleanse the palate of Barry 7's connectors for just a little while. But you can bet your bottom dollar we'll be coming back to it pretty soon. Here is the Department of Modern Science and Technoarchaeology's own Dr. Jake Thomason as Terminal Shock with I Believe.
Earth Prime is up and running. It is also remarkably underpopulated. There are plenty of tourists and study groups, vacationers, and part-time residents who come and go, but few settlers who have come to stay. Transition Earth is the interdimensional planetary reality we set in place in order to facilitate the split. Earth Prime is the original planet Earth in its original growth path, which is now completely in the fifth dimension. Transition Earth is the interdimensional planetary reality which has a combination of third, fourth, and fifth dimensional qualities. How would you like to start your next lifetime without dying to do it? Visit our meditation center located at the Jejun Institute in the forests of downtown San Francisco.
This message was brought to you by the Jejun Institute. For more information, please dial 415-325-4014 or visit us at our website www.jejuninstitute.org.
Alright, that was the unmistakable theme from John Carpenter's Halloween, redone by yours truly, Dr. Denver Risley. It was real easy. I just went to reverb.com, where the MIDI sounds of John Carpenter are available for free, the actual MIDI files. And I simply downloaded them for free, dragged them into GarageBand, and tried all kinds of different instruments. I tried Chinese drums, bassoons, you name it. And ultimately you heard with what I settled with. Lots of fun. And John Carpenter is not only known for his great movies, but his scores to his movies are just incredible. One of the biggest influences in my musical journey. So a great treat to work with those actual MIDI files. I think you'll enjoy it too. In that pack available from Reverb, you get the basic sounds to create the Halloween theme song, and also the theme song from The Fog. I think you'll enjoy playing around with those. It's free. Why would you turn it down? And since we're on the subject of scores for television and motion pictures, I'd like to share with you another theme that I did. Very iconic and very contemporary. Now, I have to say that my talent is pretty limited, so it took a lot of consultation with more skilled musicians than myself to pull this off. It took quite a bit of work, but I followed directions like a good little boy and ended up with something that I'm pretty proud of, even though it's not my composition. But this is a cover of the theme to Stranger Things. I hope you enjoy it.
This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Sherpa Cast 101.1.
The voice of future past. Sherpa Cast 10.1. The voice of future past.
Plexitone audiographic components. Ensure your audiographs are of the highest quality possible. Ask your preferred supplier for Plexitone components. Plexitone audiographic components are sold wherever Plexitone products are found. You want quality audiographs. You want Plexitone.
All right. After that humble attempt at Stranger Things, you heard another one of my pieces called Menace, with a preamble from the late great writer of speculative fiction, Rod Serling. And I'm gonna take this time to thank a longtime sponsor of the show here on Sherpa Cast 101.1, and that would be Plexitone Audiographic Components. Now defunct in this continuum, but in its own timeline is still thriving. If you're into building your own analog synthesizers, you cannot do any better than getting Plexitone audiographic components. Containing 2% thorium, Plexitone audiographic components provide unsurpassed electron flow. You'll notice that down below I've provided links to some of the things I've mentioned in today's episode. There's a link to Barry Seven's connectors, a link to reverb.com, specifically for the sounds of John Carpenter, so you can play with those MIDI files, a link to the first of a series of tutorials on constructing the theme for Stranger Things in GarageBand, and it is specifically for GarageBand. So if you have GarageBand and would like to try your hand at building this great theme song, I strongly encourage it. Also below, a link to one of the greatest resources we have available to us here at the Department of Modern Science and Technoarchaeology, and that is archive.org. I mean, that is just an endless resource to the wastescape of the internet. Currently, SherpaCast 10.1 is operating out of pocket. We are not monetized in any way. No one is paying us, not even our sponsors. They simply provide material. We here at the Department of Modern Science and Technoarchaeology are simply grateful for your perception, and we are happy to bring you the best in unusual content. As we approach the 45-minute mark, I'd like to conclude this episode with a double set from a collection posted on YouTube by one Nomad Shepherd. This is from a collection called Soviet Wave, a collection of Soviet synth pop hits from the 80s and 90s. This is from Volume 3. The first one is entitled, according to the translation, Words by Gruppa Laura. The second one is called The Winter Maid by Jumprava. I hope you enjoy this double set, and we will conclude this episode with a big, hearty thank you to all the Sherpals for your continued perception. Good night.
Все слова твои известны.
Cyberdyne Systems, the leader in artificial intelligence defense technology, bringing the future to the present.
Tonight's programming brought to you in part by the Department of Modern Science and Techno-Archaeology. Other parts brought to you from the future. Find out more at www.sherpaofscience.com.
Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past. Sherpa Cast 101.1, the voice of future past.